all. Today we'll be discussing about PySpark with Python, and we'll be seeing that how can we implement a linear or multiple linear regression or any kind of linear regression problem by using PySpark with Python. In order to understand what is a PySpark, we need to first of all understand what is Spark. You can go to this site called as spark.apache.org. You can read about this where it has shown you what are the advantages of Spark. Examples are speed, ease of use, generality. So the main thing that I'm going to discuss is about this kind of things that we have. Like on the top of Apache Spark, we usually have Spark SQL, Spark streaming, machine learning libraries. So Spark does provide like the capability of data to be read from SQL. It also provides you something called as Spark streaming, whereas the best example is from the Tutor API. You can read data as a live stream data. It also provides you different kind of machine learning libraries. So internally you can apply various kind of machine learning algorithms to the data set that you're reading from by using Spark actually. So one thing to be noted is that Spark is internally written with Scala. So here if I go to the documentation on the latest release, so anything that you need to know about the Spark, you can go over here, you can see the programming guides, you can see over here what are data frames, what are data sets, how do we implement Spark streamings. But today the main focus is regarding machine learning libraries. So here it is. You can just go and click onto this classification and regression. In the regression you can click on linear regression. Now before we had this Spark supportable only in Scala and Java. It was not supportable in Python, but now by the use of this PySpark library, it is also supportable in Python also. So this gives us the power that we can actually create our own machine learning algorithm. We can create or utilize the machine learning algorithms by using this PySpark ML. Always remember the backend, what are the process actually running inside the machine learning algorithm, that is the concepts that is involved are almost same as sklearn. Only the basic difference are various parameters that are required, the model, the input data or input shape of the data, like how the model is actually accepting those inputs, and some of the basic syntax to read the dataset from a CSV file. So all those kind of things are changing. But apart from that, I think once you see this code, you will be actually familiar like what is happening within the machine learning library. Okay, so here also you have something called as fit. Again, you have something called as coefficients, intercepts, and what are the summaries, everything. We'll be discussing more about it because I'll be implementing a linear regression algorithm over here. Now, first of all, let me just show you the data set that I have. So this is my e-commerce customer data set. So this data set is basically from an e-commerce website. It has various details like email, address, what are the average session the person is actually spending on the website, what is the time on the app, time on website, what is the length of membership, and how much he is actually spending. So this is a kind of linear regression problem, and we'll try to find out we'll try to predict how much will be the yearly amount actually will be spent by the person. So from this particular data set, I see that this particular four features, right? Average session length, time on app, time on website, length of membership will be our independent features, and yearly amount spent will be my dependent features. So just let me go to my Python notebook. I'm not going to implement this in a spider instead because I need to show you the data set again and again, and I'll be basically using dot show method, because in PySpark, in order to show and actually to see the data set, I have to use a dot show method. It's not similar like whenever we are trying to read the data set by using pandas. Whenever we just created that variable, and if I just try to display the variable, it will be visible. But in this case, we'll be trying to use dot show method. It won't work directly by just mentioning the variable name and executing it. So let me just start. For that, always our first step is to actually create a Spark session. So I'll write from PySpark.sql. I'm going to import something called as Spark session. Okay. Next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to initialize this Spark session and name it by giving us some name. So I'll write Spark session dot builder dot, should be small b, I guess. small ds, yeah, builder dot app name, and my app name will be customers. Okay, I'll write get or create. So this basically is naming my Spark session and creating it. That's it. If I execute it, it has executed successfully. It will take some time if you are executing for the first time. But otherwise, if you have executed once, it will happen quickly. So I think I've executed this for the first time, and so it is taking time. So now it is executed successfully. Next thing that I have to do is just import my PySpark.ml dot oops, there is comma dot. I have something called as regression, I guess. Yes, regression. I'm going to import my linear regression library. Let me just execute it. Now the first step is basically reading the dataset, right? So I'll write dataset is equal to the variable that I have created over here is Spark. So I'll write Spark dot read dot, I think I have CSV. Yes, CSV. I'm going to just mention the commerce site. Yes, commerce site, and I'm going to use two parameters called as info schema, which I'll mention it as true, and my header. I have to also use the header completely because that is the same column names I'm going to mention. Info schema is basically that this particular sparse session will automatically understand like what kind of data this is, whether this is a string, whether this is a double, whether this is double, and all those kind of values. So let me just execute it. Again, it will take some time because I'm reading it the dataset for the first time itself. So I think yes, now it has been executed. Now let me just show you. If I write dataset, now if I was working with pandas, if I write dataset, I could have seen my whole dataset, right? But in this case, we just get a return type of this dataset. So this is basically a data frame, and we have all this particular, the column values. Okay. So if I want to see this, as I said that I'll be using a show method. So if I execute this, this is my whole data set. Initially, it can show you only 20. If you want to see more than 20, like I want to see 40 values, you can execute this, and this is your 40 values. I'll just make it as 20 because I need some space over here. That's it. I hope this is very clear. Now, if you want to see the column details completely, I want to see my columns, right? I will be using something called as the inbuilt function called as, oops, this is data set, right? Dot print schema. So if I just execute this, this is my print schema. Yeah, print schema is actually giving you like what type of fields you have. Now let me just go ahead and discuss something like how the features has to be grouped together. So in sklearn, right, in sklearn we knew that we had different features like x1 comma x2 comma x3 comma x4 comma x5. Suppose I had 5 independent features, so x5 I'll be having one y1 value, that is basically my y1, and I used to provide this to my model, right? And finally I was getting my predictions. So you can see that I was providing this together, like independently together, but together I was trying to provide it. But in case of PySpark, I have to group this. So I have to group like x1, comma x2, comma x3, comma x4, comma x5. Then along with y1, I have to provide this to my model, and then my prediction will be possible. So this is how the model in PySpark is actually expecting the data as. So if you have not understood it, I'll just try to make you understand by showing you practically. So I'm going to use two libraries. One is from PySpark dot, I have something called a leap, and I have a linear algebra. I'm going to import vectors. Next, I'm going to use from PySpark dot ml dot feature. I'm going to import something called as vector assembler. So vector assembler is nothing but it is a group of all the vectors. So I'm using this vector assembler. Now let me create like a feature assembler, and I'll write like a vector assembler. I'll try to initialize with the vector assembler, and my first parameter is, let me press shift tab. If I go down, so my first parameter is basically the input columns. Input columns are nothing but all my independent features. So I'll write input columns. It will take some time to load. I don't know why it is so slow. And these are my features. Now I need to see like what all are my features, right? First of all, I'll take average session length. This is my first independent feature. Write in the quotes. So my second, total I have 4, so let me create 4 braces over here. First of all, what is my second? That is time on the app. Time on website. And the length of membership. Perfect. That's it. Now let me see my what will be my output column. So here is one more column like output column. So I'm just going to define my output column and specify some name like I'll just write as independent features, right? So this will give me more understanding of this particular one. So let me just execute it. Invalid syntax. I think I have made some syntax mistake. Output column. Let me see what it is. Shift tab. Output column is equal to none. But why I have this? I should not be having this. Oops, I should not be having, instead I should be closing here. Now it will execute. Perfect. Now if I write like feature assembler dot show, if I see all my data, you can see that vector assembler has no item. Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. So what I'm going to do first of all is that I'm going to transform my data set completely. So I'll write it over here as data set. So let me just transform it, and finally I get the transform value, and let me assign it to my a variable. Suppose I write something like output. Execute this. Now if I show you like output dot show, here it is. Now you can see there is an extra feature column that is created, which is nothing but the combination of all the independent features. So I hope this is not getting clearly seen in this case. So let me write something like this: output dot select, and what is my feature name? If I go something like this, it should be my independent feature. I'll copy this. I'll type it down here, and I'll write it as dot show. If I execute this, you can see that my independent features is nothing but the combination of all the independent features. Now what will I do? As I said that my model will be requiring the independent features, combination of independent features, and my dependent feature, that is my label. So what I'll do is that I'll write as finalized underscore data is equal to, I'll write output dot select, and I'm going to write my 2 columns, that is one my independent feature and one my dependent feature. So my independent feature column is basically independent features itself, because I'm actually considering only this two. This has the combination of all the independent feature. Now suppose I want to see what is my columns, right? Output dot columns. If I execute this, you can see my dependent feature will be this particular column, yearly amounts. So I'll just write this and I'll execute it. So this is my finalized data. So if I write like a finalized data dot show, you can see that this is my independent features and this is my dependent features. Now this is a very good way. Now we can provide this to my model. So the next thing is that I'm just going to create my regressor model. So I'll write regressor is equal to, I'll write a linear regressor, and in the linear regression, if I press shift tab, I have this two columns, feature columns and feature label, right? Let me copy this, let me put it over here. Okay, my feature column is basically this particular column, so I'll replace that features by this name. Similarly, I'll replace the label column with this name, which is my dependent feature. That's it. Now what I'm going to do, I'll write as regressor, and as you know that I have to use a fit, but I have to fit it either to a training or test data set. That is the step we missed it over here. So let me do one thing, let me just write insert cell above. What I'll write as my train underscore data comma test underscore data is nothing but my finalized data dot I have to do a random split. So here it is, random split, and here I'll be giving two values, like 0.75 will be my training set, 0.25 will be my test set. So if I execute it, this has executed successfully. Now I'll give my train underscore data here, and yes, I'm going to execute it. This is executed successfully. Now if I want to show you my coefficients, that is basically the slope, I have these all coefficients. Similarly, if you want to show you my intercept, so if I execute this, this is my intercept. Now apart from this, I can also evaluate my test set, right? That is what my test should be. So I'm going to evaluate my test underscore data, and finally this I will store it in one variable called as spread underscore results. Executed successfully. Now if I want to see my predictions, I'll just write something like dot predictions dot show. If I execute this, this is my independent feature, these are the real label values, and this is my prediction. Now you can see that we have almost got it properly. There is 408, there is 397, there is 461, 451, 467, 471. Suppose if I just want to see more than this 20 rows, then I can just put the number over here 40, and here it is, all my 40 rows can be visible over here. And what I see from here, that most of all the values are okay, and this has been a very good regression problem, and we are able to solve it properly. I hope you liked this tutorial. Please do subscribe the channel so that you don't miss any content. Please share with your friends, like and comment. Feedback is happily accepted. Thank you very much.